Hello everybody, welcome to this instruction video. In this video I'd like to show you how to make part 3 of the In Bloom crochet along designed by Johanna from Mio Crochet in collaboration with Favorite Garner. This part we'll be doing the very characteristic flower petals that go along with this crochet along, and that's really what's very distinctive to me about the pattern are these petals and the central flower. It's quite some work to get all these petals done, and there are a lot of yarn tails that go along with this part, so just keep on plunging along and work away your yarn tails as you go. I'll show you how to do the central petal, I'll show you how to do the corner petal, and I'll show you how to work the linen stitches that are to the back here. A word on hook size for this week. You'll need 2 hook sizes. We'll be making the petals with a 3.5mm hook, and the stitches here to the back, you can work those with a 3mm hook. That's what the pattern advises. If you're a bit of a tight crochet, you might want to consider going up a hook size that your work doesn't pull too much. Nonetheless, you're going to need a 3.5mm hook for the petals. With my hooks, I'm making this pattern from Scheepjes Katona yarn, which is a cotton yarn, very suitable for home decoration projects. So I'll take you step by step through all the parts that make up part 3. Thank you for watching, and I hope it's a useful video for you. For the first petal, we're going to start on the long edge, so we're going to do this one first. I have a new color yarn on my hook. This is color 1, and I've actually got it with a slip knot on my hook. And a 3.5mm crochet hook, by the way. I'm going to start on the 10th chain stitch from the corner. So you've got here you've got chain 1s, so I'm going to count until number 10. This is the chain 2 corner space. Then you've got chain space number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This is chain space number 10. We're going to start in there by making a standing single crochet. So set my hook, pick up the yarn, and complete the single crochet. I'm going to skip the next chain 1 space. That's going to be that one, so that means you're also going to skip the single crochet. You're going to skip the chain 1 space. So the single, the chain 1, and the single, we're going to skip that and go to the next chain 1 space. We're going to work 10 double crochets in that space. So yarn over, skipping the single, chain 1, single, go to the next chain 1 space. We're going to work 10 doubles in there. So 1, 2, and you'll notice that this chain or these 10 double crochets you're doing, that they're lining up with the tip of your flower petal. So you're going to work in the center of this edge here. So that's just a reference point, a checkpoint for you to see if it's correct. I'm going to do 10 double crochets in this space. And of course I've lost count at this point because I've been talking to you. So I'll just have to make a few more and then just count to see where I'm at. 10 double crochets. Where are we at the moment? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. So I need one more. That was number 9. And I need a bit more yarn. And then number 10 in that space. Just folding my work a bit. There we go. So that's 10 double crochets in the space. Going to again skip the next chain 1 space. So that means you're going to skip the single crochet, the next single, the chain 1, and the next single, and then go to the chain 1 space after that. I'm going to work a single crochet in there. So skipping the single, the chain 1, and the single, go to the next chain 1 and work a single crochet. That completes the first part. You can cut your yarn and fasten off. You can either open up or make a little knot, whatever works best for you. Row 2 of this first petal, new color yarn, again with a slip knot on my hook. I'm going to start in chain space number 9, so you can count again from the start here, but we do know that this was number 10 where we started in, so the one before that has to be number 9. So I'm just going to start in that one with a standing single crochet. On the next 5 double crochets here, I'm going to make a back post double crochet. Yarn over, and around that first one, make the first stitch, and that's one. I'm going to do one on each of the first 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, just these back posts are slow going, and 5. So I've now done 5 back post double crochets around those first 5 stitches. I'm going to make 3 double crochets between these 2 stitches. It's 5 and 6, so these are the 2 stitches that I'm currently at. So between the 2, so just kind of open them up. So in that space there, going to work 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Going to come down, do the same on this side as we did on that side, so it's going to be 5 back post double crochets. And the racket you're hearing in the background is one of my foster kittens that's playing with something. 1 back post, 2, 3, 4, and that's 5. So coming down and working 5 back post double crochets. I'm going to bring that yarn tail forward because we want to work a single crochet in the next available chain 1 space. So this was the one we worked, that's from round 1. Going to go to the next one and work a single crochet. Again, you can cut your yarn, and we're going to use a new color for the next row. Row 3 of this flower petal. Again, I have my yarn on my hook with the slip knot. I'm going to start in the 8th chain 1 space. Now this was number 9, so I can just go 1 back. Let's move my yarn tails, I'll work them all away. At the end of the petals, I'm going to start in there with a standing single crochet. We're now going to be working in the double crochet stitches. We're going to skip the first single crochet, that's the one you have here. We're going to skip that one and then go to the first double. We're going to work 2 doubles in there. So skip the single, go to the double and work 2 double crochets in the 1 stitch. The next stitch work 1 double crochet, followed by 2 double crochets, 2 and 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, and 1 double crochet. So your rhythm here was 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. this point you should be at the center stitch of these double crochets. You've got the 3 that you did in here. The next one should be that center one. I'm going to do 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to come down and do exactly the same on this side as we did on that side. So we're going to work 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You start with 1 double crochet, and then 2. And 2. And 1. And then 2. And then 1. And the last one is 2. That should be on your last double crochet. I'm going to work 2 on there. And 2. That's what your work looks like at the moment. Going to skip the last single crochet over here. Going to skip that one and then come back to the straight edge. Going to work a single crochet in the next available chain 1 space. So that means I'm going to skip this single, going to skip that single there and go to that chain 1 space. There we go. And you can again cut your yarn. Row 4 of this petal. Again, I've got a new color yarn on my hook. This is color number 3 for me. And we're going to start in single crochet in the chain 1 space with the single crochet. And let me just get all these yarn tails out of the way. And that will be space number 7. You can count, but again, you can just go 1 back from where you were in your last time. And again, start with a standing single crochet. We're again going to skip the single crochet and we're going to work on the doubles. We're going to work 10 back post double crochets. That will bring you here to the top. So around that first double, work a back post double crochet. It's 1, 2, going to do 10 of these, 3, 4, and 10. I've now worked 10 back post double crochets. Your next stitch should again be the center stitch. You see you've got here these 3 that you made in one. Your next one should be that center one. I'm going to make 2 double crochets, a picot and 1 double crochet in that stitch. Again, so in the next stitch, 2 doubles. So these are regular double crochets. 1, 2 doubles. And then the picot, remember we do them slightly different for this project. It's going to be a chain 1. Then come back through the front loop and through that first little loop of the post, kind of the first one you run into. Splitting my yarn. There you go. Now yarn over and pull through all of them. And it might be easier to just do this in two steps. There we go. And then you see that little chain 1 bump there. That's the picot for this project. And another double crochet in the same space. So now you've made a nice flower tip again. Going to come down and work 10 back post double crochets. Just turn my work, it's just easier for me. 10 back post double crochets, and be mindful you're currently in this stitch here. This is the stitch where you're currently in with those 3 double crochets. Don't work a back post double crochet around this post. You want to go to that post. That's the next stitch. This is an easy mistake to make. You think, oh, I need that stitch, but you don't. You need the next one. Like so. If you see here, you can now check your work. You see you've got that stripe there from the last back post. You've got nothing here. That's from the 3 you did in the center stitch. And then you've got the stripe from the back post, the first one coming down. So this is important that you don't accidentally work that post, because then you'll be increasing. Then you'll have 11 back posts coming down instead of 10. So that's a check for you. But coming down, I'm going to work 9 more. 2 and 3. 3, yes. 4, 9, and then this last one here is number 10. There you go. Now done 10 back post stitches. I'm going to work, skipping the last stitches here, come to your straight edge and work a single crochet on the next available chain 1 space, which is there. There you go. You can now cut your yarn and work away your yarn tails. So when you've finished the 1 petal and you've worked away the yarn tails, I've just left the outer ones, I've left them on because I'll do that when I've got more fabric around. But if you've got the 1, you also need to repeat this on your other 4, on your other 3 sides also. So you need 4 of these petals in total, so on all the straight edges. And when you've done that, we're ready to do the corners, because we're also going to be doing flower petals on the 4 corners. So I'll show you how to do the flower petal on the corner. So for the first round on the corner petal, I've again got my yarn on my hook, color 1. Looking at your edge, you're going to attach your yarn in the last chain 1 space. So you just open it up. See, here's a chain 2 corner space, that's a single crochet, and then you've got the chain 1, that last chain 1. That's the one that you're going for. I'm going to attach my yarn there with a standing single crochet. Moving to the chain 2 space. In the chain 2 space, going to do 8. I almost said 28. 8 double crochets. So in that space, work 8 doubles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and number 8. It feels a little crowded in there, I realize that, but it'll all be fine. 8 double crochets, and then we're going to go to the next chain 1 space and then make a single. You see, here's that first single crochet. If you just open your work up, you see there's the chain 1 space. So just in that chain 1 space make a single crochet and cut your yarn. Row 2 of the corner petal, I have my yarn on my hook, again with a slip knot, and I've got my yarn tangled. Going to do the same thing as we did before. Going to move 1 chain space back and start there with a single crochet. So go back 1 chain space, single crochet. I'm going to work on the double crochets we made. I'm going to skip the single crochet and then work a back post double crochet on the next 4. skipping the single around the first double. That's the back post. Going to work 4, so that's 1 and 2 3 and 4 double crochets. In this space, going to work 3 double crochets, so that's also in between the 2 stitches. This is exactly the same as we did here, so in between those stitches work 3 doubles. That's 1 2 and 3 doubles. Then come back down and work 4 double back post double crochets. So that's a back post on each of those doubles. And 4 back post double crochets. Going to come back down and on the straight edge going to go to the first available chain 1 space. I've already got that one in there, so going to go to the next one. Just open up your work, you'll see where that chain 1 space is. It's over there. Just wait for the camera to focus and work a single crochet in there. Again, cut your yarn and then we can do the next round. Again, yarn on my hook with a slip knot, and again going to start 1 chain 1 space back. Look at your work. There's your chain 1 space. Start with a standing single crochet. Going to skip the single crochet you have here and move onto the back post doubles. Going to work 3 double crochets in that first one. So skipping the single, go to the double. That's 1 2. We work 3 double crochets in that first stitch. 1 in the next, 1 in the next, followed by 2, 1 and 2, then 1 in the next, and then 2, 1 and 2. The next stitch, which is going to be the center stitch again, that's the one here up top. You've got those 3, the one in the middle, going to work 3 doubles in there. So 1, 2 and 3. Going to come down, do the same on this side as we did on that side. Just turn my work in. The square is getting a little bigger. Going to start, going to do a mirror image of what we did here. So if you don't remember, always just look at your work. You finished with 2, so that means you're going to have to do 2 doubles in the next stitch. So it's 2 and then 1 and then 2 and then 1. In the last double crochet, do 3 doubles. So 1, 2 and 3 doubles in that last back post double crochet. Let me just bring these yarn tails forward. There are quite a few yarn tails that you need to work away for this part. going to go to the next available chain 1 space and do a single crochet in there. So if you don't see it, just open it up. You see, there's the chain 1 space there, and work a single crochet in there. There we go. Again, cut your yarn. Round 4, row 4 of this flower petal. Again, going to go 1 stitch back and make a standing single crochet in the chain 1 space. Going to skip all the stitches until we get to the double crochet. Work a back post double on the next 10 stitches, so until you get to the center tip again. So 1, 2, 3, continue until you have 10, it's 4, and this is number 10. There we go. That's 10 back post stitches. The next stitch should be your center stitch again. Going to do 2 doubles, a picot, and 1 double in there. So in that stitch, work 2 doubles, picot, so that's chain 1, and then pick up the front loop and that first horizontal bar, or vertical, kind of depends on how your work is turned, and then work a half double, or a slip stitch through all of them. 1 more double crochet in the same stitch. Then you've got again a flower tip made. Going to come down and work 10 back post doubles on the next 10 stitches. Now be mindful, again, this is the stitch you're currently in. You don't want a back post stitch around there, so that one you don't want a back post. You're going to go to the next stitch. So that means it's that one there, because otherwise you're going to have 1 stitch more than you need. So if you look at your work, you see there's this little stripe from that last back post, and this one has nothing because you've worked those 3 doubles in there, and now you've got the back post here. So this is what you're going for. So that was number 1. Going to come down and work 10, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one is number 10. Work 10 back post doubles. I'm going to come down and work a single crochet on the straight edge, and that's the last one worked. Then go to the next available chain 1 space and work a single in there. And now you can again cut your yarn. So at this point you've worked this 1 corner flower petal. Repeat that on the other 3 corners also, and again work away these yarn tails. We're working a lot of yarn tails in this part, and when you've done all of that, we're ready to work the last few continuous rounds for this part. When you've done all 4 corners, this is what your work looks like. You've got the petals in the center and the petals on the corner. I've worked away all yarn tails except for the last one, the outer yarn tails, on the last row of each of these petals, because I'll work that away when I've got more fabric here to the back, which gives me a little bit more to hold on to then. At this point we're going to continue, and we're going to start working continuous rounds again. A few words on hook sizes. As such, you can drop a hook size for the next round to go to a hook size 3mm for the next few rounds. However, we're going to be working linen stitch, exactly the same as we did with the blue stitches here. and linen stitches do tend to pull a bit, so either work your stitches a bit loose. If you have trouble doing that, go up a hook size to a 3.5mm hook. That way you'll prevent your stitches from pulling and your fabric from cupping, because that's what you want to prevent. So work with a 3mm hook and work a bit loose, or a tip from me, go to a 3.5mm hook if you've got trouble keeping your stitches loose. Round 24. I'm going to use color 3, and that's the same color as the outer color on these flower petals. We're going to start on any straight edge. You've got the flower petal, and we're going to start in the stitches that are between the corner petal and the central petal. You've got 2 chain 1 spaces here. I'm going to take the first one. That's that space there. I'm going to take that space and attach your yarn with a slip stitch. Chain 2, the chain 1 here, this is counts as a single crochet. You're going to close on that with a slip stitch at the end. And the second chain is because you're making a chain 1 space. So chain 2, the first one is a single crochet, the second one is a chain 1. Skipping the single crochet, go to the next chain 1 space and work a single crochet in there. Chain 1. We're now going to move to the stitches, the chain 1 stitches here, but they already contain stitches from the flower petals. So I'm going to do is going to push this petal forward, so we're going to work on the back of the petal, and we're going to work in the stitches that already contain single crochet stitches. Be careful here, there's still a chain 1 there that we skipped. Remember that very first one? So that one we're also going to be working in. So we're going to be working single crochets in the same spaces that already contain a stitch. And looking at the center of the flower petal, we've got the flower petal here, we're going to always be working on the inside of the stitch. So here you've got these stitches, that means we're going to be making single crochets to the left, so on the inside of the petal. When we are going to move through and going to work on the other side, we're going to do it on the right, so on this side of the stitches. That way the stitches we're going to be making, it will always be on the inside. If you look at the center line, on the inside of the stitches. I'll show you what I mean by that. I've just done a chain 1, and I'll move to the next chain 1 space, and there's a single crochet here, and you're going to place our hook to the left of that to make another single crochet. So in that same space, if you just open that up, if you can find that space, so in the same space that already contains that single crochet, insert your hook to the left of the stitch. You see there are the stripes from that single crochet to the left, and complete that single crochet. Chain 1. Go to the next chain 1 space that contains the stitch here, to the left of that stitch, see, in the same space, and work a single. Chain 1. Next stitch, again to the left, pick up, and work a single. Chain 1. Next stitch, to the left, and work a single. Chain 1. There's still one chain 1 space left here, and you might just have to go and look a little bit for it, but it is there. If you just open everything up, there's one chain 1 space left there. Remember, we started with the single crochet, skip a chain 1 space, and then we did the 8 doubles. So it's that little one we skipped that you're going for now. So insert your hook in there, and if all else fails, just try to open it up. Even if you can't see it from the back, it might help you if you look from the front. You see, oh, there's the space. And then if you then push it to the back, you can find where it is. So that chain 1 space, which I've now lost actually. It's here somewhere. Is that the correct space? Yes, that's the correct space. Single crochet. Now we want to go to the other side, and we're going to bridge this gap by making a chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to skip everything that's in the middle here and go to the next chain 1 space that's on this side. So the equivalent stitch there, here, make a single crochet in there. In that chain 1 space. Chain 1. Now we're again going to do single crochets on this side. And like I said before, we want to work on the inside of the petal. So this time, we're going to do the single crochet on the right side of the stitches. If you're left-handed, everything is exactly the other way around. So on the right side, in that chain 1 space, work a single. Chain 1. Next space. To the right. Chain 1. Next one. There we go. To the right. Chain 1. And the next one. Chain 1. Slowly moving over to the other side. We've got chain 1 spaces here. Single crochet. Chain 1. Next chain 1 space. Single crochet. Chain 1. Onto a new petal. And the same concept goes here as it did on the side petal. Just going to fold it inward so you can work from the back. And again, the center line always on the inside of the center line. So that means now, just pull this yarn tail away. On the inside, so that's on the left. Chain 1 on the left of that space, chain 1, and there is another one here. You're going to do 4 of these. Chain 1, and the last one over here. Chain 1. Sorry, single crochet. To bridge the gap, so actually to make the corner, we're going to do a chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn my work a bit. And now on the other side, on the inside, in those chain 1 spaces, work another single crochet. 1, chain 1. And the next one, single crochet, chain 1, and the next one, chain 1, and here's the last one. So you see how I'm working all of these to the right of the stitches. Chain 1. On the next straight edge, go to the next chain 1 space. That's a single, so here's the chain 1 space. Chain 1, and then work another single in the next chain 1 space. And you can see how this stitch here is exactly the same as that stitch there. So what you've just done on this corner, do it on the other 4 also. When you get here to the beginning, on that first chain 1, close on there with a slip stitch, exactly the same way as we've done with all of these rounds here also. So close with a slip stitch there, and then leave your yarn attached because you're going to use the same color for the next round. Row 25. We now have a mesh of single crochets, chain 1s at the back with a few chain loops. Here you've got a chain 6 loop and here a chain 3 loop. We're now going to build the rest of the structure to get to a complete linen stitch mesh again. I'll work away my extra yarn tails in a bit. You're currently in that first chain one. Just going to move to the next chain one space with a slip stitch. Chain two. 1, 2. The first chain one counts as a single crochet and the second chain one counts as your chain space. Going to work a single crochet in every chain space and a chain one in between. So the next chain space, I work a single, chain one, go to the next chain space, and at a certain point you're just kind of going to feel where they are, because there's a natural rhythm to this. Chain one and a single crochet, chain one, and there is a chain space in here. There we go. Chain one. Now I'm up to the chain 3 space, and here I'm going to work single crochet, chain one, and a single crochet in the same space. Chain one and go to the next chain one space. Chain one and then a single in the next. Going a little faster because the idea is the same. You're going to continue this until we get to the chain 6 space. That's going to be the next place where we do something different. And after this you're going to have a complete mesh again in which you can work the classic linen stitch. And we're still working at the back of these petals, so keep folding them forward. If you still have a gazillion yarn tails from all those petals, just work them away at the end of this part. Don't leave them until the end. Chain one, got a chain one space there, chain one, I've got a space here, and chain one. Now I'm onto the chain 6. Single crochet, chain one, single crochet, chain 2. That's the new corner, the chain 2. Then single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and that fills up the chain 6 space. Onto the next straight edge, chain 1, your next chain 1 space, work a single in there, chain 1, and then the next space, and then you're slowly but surely going to end up at the place where we started with, chain 1, which was somewhere here. Continue this and go all the way around, and when you're at your first stitch, which was here, back there, so you can fold this forward and you can just see the little edge that we've made if I fold this forward. When you're back here on that first chain 1, close on that stitch with a slip stitch, then you can cut your yarn. Round 26. Round 26 is a repetition of round 18. That was the one we did here in the light blue. Going to repeat round 18. I'll just show you to get you started. A new color yarn, going to go to the corner and look for the chain 2 space. If you open this up, you'll just see it sitting right there. And attach your new color yarn with a slip stitch. Chain 2, 1, 2. That first chain counts as your single crochet. You're going to close on that with a slip stitch, and then the next chain is your chain 1, and you want another one, that's a chain 2. So you've got a single crochet, chain 2 here. In the same space, work a single crochet. So this is your corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Now on the straight edge, going to work a linen stitch. So it's going to be chain 1, skipping the single crochet, going to go to the next chain 1 space. And if you can't see it where it is, just open up your stitches and you'll see, oh, there's one, and that's the single, and here's the chain 1 space, and that's where it is. Chain 1, next chain 1 space, work a single, chain 1, next chain 1 space, work a single, and you're going to continue that until you're to the other side, and then in the chain 2 corner space, so when you get over there, going to work the new corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, go all the way around. When you're at the first stitch, close on there with a slip stitch. Round 27, going to repeat round 26. You see here there's the linen stitch I did for round 26. Repeat that row, which is again a repetition of row 18. So with a different color yarn, I'm going to use the light pink. I'm going to repeat this linen stitch, so repeat row 18, which is the same as the row that you just did. When you've worked the last round, you see here in the light pink here to the back, you're all done for part 3. You'll notice at this point that your work kind of doesn't really want to lie flat. That's because these flower petals, when they fall, they kind of make the work do this. So and you've got a bit of a 3D effect here. I mean, you've got a very thick fabric from the flowers, and then thin here, and then these petals are quite thick again. So it all kind of makes it just bobble and bend a little bit. But don't worry, when you've got that cushion on it at the end, it's going to stretch it and it's going to make it be flat. So don't worry about that. At this point, you've got 8 petals, 4 large, 4 small, and to the back of your petals, which are still loose, you've got these linen stitches. Work away all your yarn tails. Big tip I want to give you. There have been a gazillion yarn tips for this part, I know, so work them all away. Next part is going to be better. And that then brings us to the end of part 3. I hope to see you next time for part 4.